So I have my piece and we have drums, separate track for hi-hat, snare drum, bass drum, a right-hand piano, and we created a left-hand piano out of the right-hand part, just simple triads. And then we created a bass track. I'm muting this bass track because what I did was add another bass, and then we expanded upon the bass track to create a rhythmic pattern and some different notes aside from just the roots of the triad. So I want to show you another way to expand and add orchestration and color to your piece, and that is to create what's called a pad or a synthesizer sound, something long and sustained. First, let's take a listen to what this sounds like. And that's what I've got so far. What I'm going to do now is add a new track. And I'm going to choose the synthesizers. You could choose winds, you could choose brass and woodwinds, you could choose other keyboards if you want to. Right now I'm going to show you something in synthesizers, and if I come to the instruments here, I'm going to check not on leads, but this thing called pads. Pads, you'll hear, are long, sustained sounds. They lend themselves to really long, sustained chord-like sounds. So you could play and preview and choose the ones that you may like, whichever one you like. And that has a little bit of what's called arpeggiation added to it. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one just because it seems okay. Might as well, right? You can always change your instruments at a later date and change the sounds or choose the ones that you want. So I've created the flag here, the flag pad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my right-hand piano. So I'm going to click on this, go to the Edit pull-down window and hit Copy. I'm going to put my cursor at the beginning. That's my scroll bar. Make sure I click on my newly created track. You'll see it highlights over here, so you know that's been highlighted. Then Edit and Paste, and the region goes in there. Here we are. So now my chords that were in my right-hand piano are now in my pad. I'm going to open it up, and let's solo this so we can hear it. Fantastic. Great, now I've got my chords in a pad setting. I'm going to now unsolo it, and so I could hear it in the context of the whole piece. Nothing wrong with that. You could do a couple of things with this if you like. I'm going to click in here and make sure I'm in the region. I'm also going to rubber band select, or you can because I want to select all. So the first thing I'm going to do is rubber band select them all. And I'm going to click on this note C, C2, and I'm going to move it up an octave. Click and slide, and make sure you go to C3. See, it says so in there. It says C3, velocity 66. You want to make sure you're not in anything but that C3. Now let's listen to it. Now it's up an octave. Yeah, no problem. You know what? Maybe I just want this one chord to be up an octave, and then the other chords are different. What does that sound like? Kind of like that, actually. That sounds pretty good. So what I've just done is I've created a pad to go along with my piece. Now, what you'll notice I've been building here is what some people might call the chorus or the drop. It is everything all in at once. When you start creating all the different elements that are available to you, and we could use some more techniques if we wanted to, and layer things out and do other things and add effects, you could do that. You could spread it out over time. So everything doesn't have to be in all at once and then looped. You could decide that you want in your piece, maybe you'll start with the drums, maybe you won't start with the drums. It's up to you. Maybe you'll start with the pad, maybe you'll add a bass, maybe you'll add other things like that. So you can layer things in. Right now we've just built 4 measures where everything is all in.